What a le bam bam ba ye when the two sevens clash. What a le bam bam ba ye when the two sevens clash. What a le bam bam ba ye when the two sevens clash. It's like Jesse James. I often use two cannons. Pa, 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 pa. Two guns. It's just a little style that I've developed for myself in my attempt to capture what I need with the gear that I need and the type of lenses that I'm using right now. Two cameras that I use, 70D and 7D, the two sevens. Yeah. Very complementary, I find, but quite different. One, the 70D, very, very good for video. And in fact, I'm using one actually right now to film this this episode. And the 7D, its big brother, more professional grade, if you like, more on the photography end. Both have features that kind of surpass each other, which is why I guess they work really well together. 70D, a very good photography camera, great focusing, quite lightweight, which is why I like using it in street photography. But it just doesn't have the feel and the extra focusing features of the 7D, which just feels great. Just feels great, you know, magnesium alloy body with the three custom functions on the top. You can just, this is just invaluable when you're doing events. Have events having these three custom areas that you can set up for different situations that are going to happen really quickly. The 70D doesn't have that as one, so not so good in that area. Having said that, the 70D has the flip out screen, which is brilliant. This little swivel screen flips out when you're doing filming. You know, you can have it, set it where you want it. So flips back in on the back like that. Excellent. And as I said, it is quite a bit lighter than the 70D because than the 7D, because the 70 is made out of toughened plastic. Yeah. Whereas the 7D is magnesium alloy. This feels like you could fling it at somebody, you know, knock them out, go and pick it up, and it would still shoot. So I like having both of them when I'm doing an event. You know, if I have to do video really quickly, switch to my 70 as the main camera. If I'm doing photography, it's mainly the 7 I will use. And I'll just balance them like this in my hands, you know, the two 7s. When I need to switch from the 7 to the backup, I just switch it over like this, balance it, and then here I go. Yeah. So it's a little style, it's a little way, it's my own way of shooting events. Yeah. So we've got the two bodies that I can carry quite nicely. I don't use straps because I find that the straps hinder me. The straps they get in the way, you know, and you end up having these sore shoulders carrying these cameras, you know, having them swinging as you're moving. And I just don't like that. I find it very, it gets in the way. And the cameras get tangled up and, you know, they can end up smashing together, clashing together, which is what happened at one event that I was filming. And the two cameras came together, pa! And the 70D top window got smashed. Not on this one, it's actually on the one I'm filming with, but it got smashed. A bit of hatred between family members, I think. What are the bam bam ba ye? When the two sevens clash. So the two sevens clashed, and yeah, since that day I haven't really used. I take the straps off and I just kind of carry them like this. So the lenses that I have on them, you can see nice little short lenses, prime lenses. I think I made a video about this already. I've switched from using zooms because they're too big, they're too heavy, and they only really go down to 2.8. And some of these events are so dark that they're just not cutting it. So two primes on the 7D here. We've got the 35mm f2, one of my favorite lenses of all time. It just gives you that look that's just beautiful. It's clear, it's bright, it's light, small. Can you see that? Look how small that is. That's what cameras are supposed to look like. Not having these great stonking things sticking out off the nose. And on the other one, we got the 85mm f1.8. Beautiful. This actually is my all-time favorite lens. All-time favorite. It just, the images that come off of this lens, you can't really go wrong with them. I mean, you get so many keepers. That's the only problem with using this lens. So many keepers. If you have to cut down the number of images you're going to use or you're going to send, it creates a problem because there's so many that are just, they pop and they just have that nice arty look that I'm after. So the 2.7s, Watale bam bam ba ye, when the 2.7s clash. Yeah, Jesse James style, outlaw style. So anyway, that's usually using these lenses, 35 and 85, is usually when I'm doing an event or street photography mission. I'll actually pack both of these in a side bag. I'll carry one and I'll just switch between the two. So on a street photography mission, these are the two main cameras that I carry and decide which one to use depending on what it is I see. And I've got it down to a nice fine art where I can quickly switch this one out, switch this one out, switch. Or even, as I said, just balance them. Can you see that? Just balance them. It looks kind of awkward, but it's not that bad. It's not as awkward as it looks, you know? Carrying this one like this and then swapping it over. It's not as awkward as it looks. I have dropped them. I have dropped the camera a couple of times, but these are, as I said, tough little machines. So it's all good. It's all good. The 2.7s. Now the problem comes when some days I don't want to carry two cameras. I might want to just go out wherever it is I'm going, not really with the intention to do any photography, but just to have a camera, just in case. So then I'll carry one camera, and it's usually the 70D because the 70 is lighter. And but then the problem becomes, what lens do you carry? If you're only going to have one lens, if you're only going to have one prime, that means you're only going to get one set of images, one particular type of images. Here's the answer. This is where the 24-70 zoom lens comes in. Now this lens, I use this quite a lot. General purpose, I would call it a general purpose lens because obviously you can go between 24 and 70. So it's more practical sometimes than using a prime. But because it's an f4, it's an f4 lens, you're not gonna get the look that you're gonna get off of this 85, yeah? So again, you're into this clash thing, a clash of ideas, a clash of civilizations, a clash of decisions. What do I bring? I'm gonna bring one camera. This is nice and light. This is not too heavy. Was it about 600 grams, I think this lens, which is quite not heavy. Whereas this 85mm is 425 grams. So It's a big decision. What do you do? Watale bam bam baye. When the two sevens clash. So, okay, let's get this on here. So, here we go. There's 24 to 70. Canon 24 to 70 L lens. Beautiful. Micro contrast on this is beautiful. Images that it produces, beautiful. But it's not a prime. It's not a f1.8. So you're going to get a completely different type of image off of this that you're going to get off of the primes. So you have to decide. It's a trade-off. Is it going to be a production kind of image that you want? A news type of image, a photojournalist type of image? 24 to 70. Is it going to be more of a arty kind of shallow doff kind of, something that's not necessarily what you see? 85, 35. That's how I got to decide. You got to decide beforehand. But sometimes you can't decide beforehand. Sometimes you just grab up a camera and you roll with it. And as I said, the images off of this are beautiful, but it's a different type of image. So, decision. All factors come into the decision. The weight, the size. Can this fit into your bag? I mean, this is quite, it's not that long. It's a long lens, but as in comparison to, most people have the 24 to 105, which is even longer and even heavier, which is why I do like this lens, because it fits nicely into my bag. So, but when you got this 24 to 70 on the 7D again, because the 7D body is heavy, all that, you got to take it into consideration. So decisions. All of that, you got to develop your culture. Watale bam bam baye. When the two sevens clash. Watale bam bam baye. That was culture, wasn't it? Culture. When the two sevens clash. So here we go. We got the two sevens. We got the 24 to 70. And we got the 35 mil in this hand on the 7D. The two sevens. Decisions. There's no right or wrong with photography. That's what I've learned, and that's what I'm learning. You just got to develop your own style. You got to, use trial and error and work out what's best for you. And slowly and surely I'm getting there, and it's all good. No more clashing. Watale bam bam baye. When the two sevens clash. Watale bam bam baye. Them not clashing no more. Boom, boom, boom.